What kind of advice might you give to new CS educators?
Yeah, for the new people, we keep pushing this idea of being the lead learner. And I think that's super important. Just be willing to give it a try. So many people discover this is something they do like and they do have a talent for once they get there. And so hope that that's the case, that this isn't just a once and done thing. You've got to keep learning
Yeah.
pedagogy and content, right? There's
Yep.
wonderful things happening in this area all the time. Barb Erickson just did a talk this week about how the value of Parsons problems ties into student learning and retention, and about near peer learning through giving everybody a multiple choice question and then discussing the answer together before you decide what the answer is. And, they're starting to do some different kinds of research in computer science that comes out of what they already know in other kinds of education. There's just so much to learn, content-wise, pedagogy-wise, and just remind yourself, keep learning.
Yeah, and your comment about doing research that's already known in other subject areas, that's actually something I talk about in a podcast that hasn't released yet, that one of the biggest recommendations that I give is to read outside of your subject area.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a computer science educator, read stuff in other content areas and just read stuff outside of education in general. You can learn a lot that you can apply in the classroom.
Oh, yeah. Podcasts and different things to little 2-minute stories.
Yep. So how might your advice change if I were to ask you what kind of advice would you give for a veteran CS educator?
I think that's really that thing about just keep learning. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really the advice it's for new and veteran.
And then would it be the same for teachers who are interested in integrating CS or CT but aren't necessarily doing it full time?
No, because what I'm thinking with the people I work with that are trying to do the integration is it really helps if you start small.
Yeah.
If that's possible, if somebody's not, dumping a whole load of stuff on your head and you just have to swim through it. But, keep trying to just kind of push outside the box and, think about it. Math is computing. We are computing technology. So, there's all these connections. Just because the way that we teach English language arts doesn't include computational linguistics and things like how we communicate body language, inflection, the digitization of things. There's all these wonderful connections to every subject area that's in computing. If you can just be able to take bits and pieces of it and make it part of other things, we'll finally get to the rational point where we should have been all along, where computing is part of what we teach.
This podcast highlight was from episode 15 of the CSKA podcast, which is titled Suggestions for Starting or Expanding Your Program with Dianne O'Grady-Cunniff. And you can listen to this episode on any major podcast platform or by going to jaredoleary.com, where you'll find hundreds of more podcast episodes for computer science educators.